Pull up in the Benz with a whole gold thing, window down. See me with my king, Stella. Pull up in the Benz with a whole gold thing, window down. See me with my king, Stella. Pull up in the Benz with a whole gold thing, window down. See me with my king, Stella. Pull up in the Benz with a whole gold thing, window down. See me with my king, Stella. Pull up in the Benz with a whole gold thing.
Today is what we might call a very special event. I've used that phrase a few times before, that today is a very special day on the blog. This one's a little bit different for sure. And yeah, once again, pretty special day for us. There is no more exhausting or more taxing time as a professional poker player as is the World Series of Poker. 7 straight weeks, 60 some events in the dead of Vegas summertime. 115 degrees outside, 50 degrees in the Rio, give or take. All those weeks of straight grinding all the way through June and into July. Today is July 10th. We're reaching the end and we had an idea. Why not get some people together, decompress, hang out with some people, have a couple drinks. We're here at the home base of our meetup games. This is the Westgate Casino once again. The Westgate was nice enough to provide us with a space for tonight's festivities. Something like 17,000 square feet of ridiculousness. Multiple rooms, multiple bedrooms, more showers than I can even count. Bathtubs galore. And look at this beautiful outside space as well. We got our own pool out here, guys. We're a couple hours away from party start time, so still getting set up over here. Beer pong tables are ready to go. Right down this hallway is the main hangout room, I guess. Brad, what's the name of this main hangout room? What would you call this?
I think the main hangout room.
Main hangout room? Yeah. Bar over here. I imagine most of the time will be spent around this area, and of course out there at the beer pong table. My buddies over at Outer Space Vodka sent some alien head bottles full of vodka over to the party, so we should be all set in that regard. Somehow Brad was able to get a signature drink on the menu, and I was not. I guess when you're Brad Owen, special things happen. Not exactly sure whether any of our guests will be skilled in the arts of the piano, but just in case, there is a grand piano there. This is gonna be the food station happening over here. They really thought of everything tonight at the Westgate. I could just go on and on about this suite. More to come later as the guests arrive. Back at Old Faithful here, back in the Bellagio Sportsbook. Just arrived. It's a bit late. It's a bit on the late side. Late is always relative. When I say late, I mean late for starting a session. Getting ready to hop in the old 5-10 game here at the Bellagio, 1500 max, as you know well by now, maybe. Things are almost a wrap here for the summertime poker season. The World Series of Poker main event wrapped up last night. Congratulations to John Sin, taking it down. Cool to see someone who plays on Live at the Bike sometimes to get in there, proper live poker grinder, get in there and take it down. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, that doesn't have too much to do with me, nor does any sort of tournament result have anything to do with me as the World Series unfolded this summertime. I set a goal of playing a lot of tournaments, firing a lot. That didn't exactly happen. I think I played 5 or 6 tournaments over the course of the World Series. Nowhere near what I was expecting to play. I was thinking I was gonna play mostly tournaments, 90% or so. Cash games ended up being too good. Absolutely, as a result, no tournament results to speak of. However, as previously mentioned, the cash games have been good. So I guess it's a trade-off that I'm perfectly fine with. As long as we're making a profit, that's what matters in the end. I think that's what matters. I don't know if that's what matters. Come to think of it, it's an interesting topic of discussion. What really matters, in my opinion, is how much we're enjoying it, right? So Are we enjoying the cash grind? I was definitely enjoying the cash grind during the World Series. It was good to add the Rio to the mix of rotation of games, of locations where I was grinding, even though obviously the Rio is not the most glamorous location on earth, but it was good to hop in those games over there and you know, just have another spot to go to, another office, so to speak, to add into the rotation. There's lots more that I could say on this topic, but I think for now, I'm gonna go hop in the cash games, put in a session, try and grind out a win, but mostly just focused on trying to continue to play well in the cash games. That's all you can really do. As cliche as it sounds, as boring as it sounds, we all want to win the thousands, but it's got to come one hand at a time, one decision at a time. Let's go.
I'm still alone in my mind. I'm still alone. I'm still alone in my mind. I'm still alone. I'm still alone.
I just want to introduce myself, bro.
Good to meet you.
You really inspired my game, bro. The vlogs and stuff, bro.
That's cool to hear.
I just had to come and say something, bro. That's it.
Cool. All right, guys, the Bellagio turned out to be semi-miserable tonight. That could be too much hyperbole. It was just a little bit slow, let's put it that way. World Series is definitely winding down. Just less games, less action, as expected. Can't last forever. My friend Ashley is, she'll agree with me, I'm sure, right?
Hit and quit.
You did a lot better than I did. I mean, I didn't do too bad. I lost like $550 or something. She won $350 in like, what, 20 minutes?
Be real honest, 12.
12 minutes, okay. Yeah, even better. All right, so plan is, I think, shoot over to Aria, probably hop into a PLO game, everyone's favorite game. It's time to switch it up a little bit, I think. Well guys, I have big news to share. From this day forward, I will now be known as a professional Pot Limit Omaha player. Alright, it's tough to say that with a straight face. We probably can't go that far, but that was a pretty fun game. And not just because we booked a win, but that always helps. Back on that kind of a schedule apparently, 7:30 in the morning. We got over here, what time? I think we got over here to Aria about 2:30 in the morning. So played PLO for about 5 hours. If you've seen my vlogs before, specifically my previous PLO vlogs, you'll know that I'm definitely not a PLO expert. On that scale of basic to 10, my PLO analysis is gonna end up somewhere around a 2, I would guess. So I think that means it's time for some rapid fire Pot Limit Omaha hands, rapid fire style. Going through these real quick because there's just not going to be that much you know, added value that I can provide in the depths of these strategy discussions when it comes to this game, when it comes to PLO. I've been playing it a little bit more here and there, specifically online. It's been fun to play it on WSOP.com. Again, those online player pools are merged between Nevada and New Jersey now. So I've been hopping in those streets a little bit here and there, but I still got a long way to go as far as strategy study goes. Let's put it that way. All right, first interesting hand, there's 2 limps. The button makes it 25. And by the way, we're playing 1-2 with a 5 bring in PLO. So the initial raise with no limpers is 15 maximum. With each limper, you can add $5. So 2 limps, maximum raise $25 on the button. I looked down an ace queen 10-10 double suited in the small blind, premium hand, I think. Definitely looks pretty, so I make it $80 to go. The limper and the button call, so 3 ways to a flop. 9-4 deuce rainbow with 1 club. So backdoor nut flush draw plus the overpair. And the initial, what do you call it? The initiative. Yeah, I'm really tired here. So with the initiative, I decided to put out a C-bet, overpair, backdoor flush draw. I make it $140. Both players pulled, so we take that pot down. Next interesting hand, I open up ace 6-4-3. Once again, double suited, 15 to go, 3 callers, so 4 ways to a flop this time. King 8-3 with 1 club, rainbow flop. Seems like since it's such a dry flop with a high card, no draws available, seems like I could probably c-bet this after it checks to me, but since it's 4 ways and this is a pretty action-heavy game, it seems like, I decide to take the safe route and check it, and player behind me checks as well. Turns the 5 of clubs, so now we add the nut flush draw. Small blind bets 30, folds to me and I call. Player behind me calls as well. The river's an offsuit 4, so we end up with 2 pair on this board. And after the small blind bets again, this time for $60. It's a pretty interesting spot because we do have some blockers to the available straights. The bad news is that we have that ace-high flush draw that bricked out, so we block potential flush draws that he was betting with. But this player's been very, very active, so I decide to toss in the call for $60, hope the player behind me folds. Luckily he does, and the small blind just goes ahead and mucks his hand. So that one works out. We make that call, that hero call with the weak 2 pair. Turns out to be good. In the next hand, there is 1 limper. The button raises it up to 20. We're in the small blind looking down ace, king, jack, jack with 1 suit. Again, it looks like a premium to me, so I go ahead and make it 70 to go. Both the limper and the button call. So 3 ways to a flop of king 8-4, 2 diamonds and 1 club. Don't want to give any free cards here, so I bet 140. Player in the middle folds, and the player on the button jams it all in for approximately $400 or $450. Not loving this spot, but there's just not enough money there to find the fold, I don't think. Top pair, top kicker, backdoor, nut flush draw. A couple things working there for us. So again, just not deep enough, I don't think. So I toss in the call. Turns the ace of diamonds, river's an offsuit 3. So not my favorite run out, even though we have top 2 pair. I wait for him to show, and he doesn't show. Kind of shakes his head. I let him know that I have top 2 pair, and he says that's good. So I go ahead and show it down, and turns out it is good. He mucks his hand. So things are rolling, things are moving along pretty nicely for us in this PLO game here in the middle of the night. One more fun one where there was an early position limp, a late position raise to 20. I looked down at 7-5-4-3 single suited in the small blind again. I decided to put in the 3-bet just because I'm trying to have some of these types of hands in my 3-betting range, try and balance out some of those premiums, even though balance is not going to be that important, and even though this hand might be a little bit too marginal, but whatever. We're gonna 3-bet it, we're gonna gamble it up a little bit here, so I make it 80 to go. The big blind cold calls, and the razor calls, the initial razor calls as well, so 3 ways to another flop. 8-5 deuce with 2 clubs. I decided to check it and see what happens, and the big blind bets, he bets about $200, I think. The guy in the middle folds, and back to me with the big blind only having about $300 behind. So obviously I'm not gonna go anywhere with a pair and a straight draw. I'm not gonna be loving it when I assume we're behind and we also don't have the flush draw on board. So obviously that makes our straight draw a little bit weaker, but not gonna do anything here. Have to get the money in, I think. I mean, we could call and then wait for a safe turn card, so that's another option, but like I said, we're gonna gamble it up a little bit here, so I just get it in with the big blind. I raise and he snap calls, so we're only gonna run it once. The turn is a 9 and the river is an offsuit 3, so we end up with 2 pair. After my opponent announces pocket aces that two pair is gonna be good enough. So we're scooping this pot as well. And yeah, like I said, pretty much everything going right for us in this PLO game. Some Monday morning PLO that's definitely going right for us. And as you can tell by the look in my eyes, a little bit tired. So decide after running up a stack for a decent amount, and even though the game was still pretty good, just a little bit too tired to grind it out at this point. Into the game for $400, no rebuys, no add-ons. Cash out of the game for $2,360 some for a profit about $1,960 in a 1-2-5 PLO game. Happy to take that. Subtract the $550 that we lost at the Bellagio 510. That's gonna come out to a profit of about $1,400 between the two sessions, between the No Limits and the PLO. There's only one reasonable conclusion, as mentioned before. It is time to completely abandon No Limit and only play PLO going forward. All right, obviously being a little facetious there, but you know what? That 510 game over the Bellagio was pretty much the furthest thing from fun, and coming over here and playing the PLO game, that was a very nice change of pace, very nice break from the 2-card game. And we've been on the grind here, the No Limit grind in Vegas throughout the entirety of the World Series, and it's just, like I said, a nice break, change of scenery, those 4 cards. I don't know, maybe philosophical Andrew's coming out here a little bit, but I do think it's important to just do the thing that you enjoy doing, and I've tried to make that a theme across basically the entirety of this vlog, as many videos as possible. I don't think anybody else can tell you what you should be doing. I think only each person can answer that for themselves. When you're doing this day in, day out for months and years on end, it can definitely become a grind, just like a lot of other jobs. So changing it up, whether that's game to game or city to city or online to live, or even doing some other things outside of poker, I think that's gonna be important. So I'm gonna try and switch things up here and there. We're still gonna be playing poker as a job for now, but yeah, I have a few other ideas for things I want to do in these videos, and it's just gonna come down to executing them. Now that the World Series is a wrap, there should be a little bit more time to do that. The games, particularly the No Limit games, are for sure gonna slow down here. It's one of the slowest, if not the slowest times of the year for No Limit Hold'em, right after the World Series of Poker is over. So that's probably gonna mean some travel. We'll definitely wanna get to some other spots, some other locations outside of Vegas. Need to come to the East Coast, need to come back to the Midwest, need to hit Florida, need to go to the Pacific Northwest. So many things to do. Also wanna start doing some streaming on Twitch. I'll put my Twitch channel here. That's gonna be a thing. What do you think about this idea? You know how they do like the director's cut or like director's commentary, I think that's called. Remember, like in DVDs, there would be a special track where you would watch the movie with the director's commentary over the movie as it's playing. What do you think? This is just an idea that, who knows, I kind of want to try. You guys let me know. Playing a vlog, going back to the beginning. I'll do some behind the scenes commentating on it, stream it on Twitch, do that for like 30 minutes or something, and then hop into some online poker. Let me know your thoughts on that idea. And then who knows, we'll do a bunch of other stuff on Twitch. The bigger point is, for me personally, I think it's very important to just sort of have some sort of sense of changing it up every so often. I'll have to go into this on another vlog, but I think I do my best when something is new and fresh. When it's new and interesting, I think that's when I do my best work. And I don't want this vlog to become stale, because I think there's so many different interesting things that we can do. You guys can get involved. I have a bunch of ideas, not just that commentary thing. Maybe like some staking here and there, obviously some more travel, getting some of you guys just more involved in general. Kind of rambling here, probably time to go to bed. Well beyond time to go to bed. One last thing, thanks so much to everybody who came to the party at the Westgate, our WSOP wrap-up party. The WSOP is officially a wrap now. The one drop is going on, but thanks to everyone who came to the party. Thanks to everybody who comes to the next one. Alright, I'm going to bed. Cheers, guys.
Window down, see me with my king, Stella. Pull up in the Benz with a